From completely fresh faces to established visionaries, here are all the crazy ways Kevin Feige is shifting the Marvel Cinematic Universe's strategy. If you thought the Marvel Cinematic Universe was done shocking you, then think again. In a recent turn of events, it seems that Marvel Studios might be adjusting its approach to hiring its creative talent, along with the release dates of new content, in a way that you'd never expect. And we've got all the juicy details right here for you. Remember the success of WandaVision and the rise of director Matt Shakman? Well, he's now helming the highly anticipated Fantastic Four reboot. What about Jack Schaefer, the showrunner of the hit Disney Plus series? Marvel has brought her on board for 2 more Marvel projects. But here's the twist in the tale. It seems like these wins might not be enough to keep the Marvel machine running smoothly. Some recent projects haven't been as well received by fans or critics. Take Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, for example. Jeff Loveness penned this most recent film. He's an impressive writer, but he has a limited resume outside of Rick and Morty, so it's no surprise the movie left some Marvel enthusiasts scratching their heads. After all, it has a 47% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a 48% rating on Metacritic. Ouch! So what's the deal? Are we witnessing a shift in Marvel's strategy? According to a new rumor from reliable insider Jeff Snyder, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige is considering a drastic change. It's all about how the company hires its topic creatives. Apparently, Feige wants to hire more established talent behind the camera. Wow, that's a pretty big change from before. But the story goes even further than this. Allegedly, Feige said back in June 2022 that he wanted to replicate a particular experience. In fact, he wanted something similar to Sam Raimi's time on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. During this time, Feige said he didn't have to oversee the whole thing. Instead, he left Raimi to his devices for most of the shoot. So Feige is reportedly hoping for a similar situation in future films. Now, don't get us wrong. We don't think Marvel Studios will completely abandon working with lesser-known talent. After all, discovering and nurturing fresh talent has been a hallmark of the MCU since its inception. However, it's not too difficult to imagine Marvel taking a step back. The studio executives want to reevaluate the risks they're willing to take, particularly when it comes to their more prominent properties. Case in point, Eternals. Marvel appointed Chloe Zhao as the film's director, and despite her undeniable talent, the film was a critical failure. Rotten Tomatoes even gave it a rotten rating. That's gotta hurt. Along with Zhao, there are rumors about who's next on the chopping block. There are 2 writers who've been linked to underwhelming work in the MCU, Michael Waldron and Jeff Loveness. Waldron wrote Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness. While it was a box office smash, critical reviews were more mixed. Similarly, Loveness wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and we all know how the reception was for that film. So it's not hard to see why Marvel is thinking about firing them, even though they've both got Avengers: Secret Wars in their resumes. Fans are wondering if Marvel will replace them with more experienced and proven talent. Although Waldron did sign a new deal with Marvel a few weeks ago, he's also expressed his love for Marvel and how much he'd enjoy continuing to work in this world. So perhaps his Marvel career is safe for now. If not, that'd be one huge shakeup for Marvel if true. At the moment, we don't know if this change applies just to writers or if they're considering directors too. But that's not all. You might think Marvel had Phase 5 all figured out. However, there's a new twist in the tale. Let's take a step back for this one. Remember Comic-Con San Diego in the summer of last year? Well, at the time, Kevin Feige revealed the plan for Phase 5 of the MCU. He claimed Disney would release 13 projects in just under 2 years, across theaters and Disney Plus. But things have changed quite a bit since then. First off, there is some great news. The 6 movies are still happening. However, there have been changes to the release dates and order. Bassam Tariq left the Blade remake only 2 months before production was meant to begin. This means that Marvel has pushed it from the 4th to the 6th release. Sadly, that's not all. They've also postponed the Marvels from June this year to November. Thank goodness it's just a small delay. As for the 7 Disney Plus shows, unfortunately things aren't so clear with those. In a recent interview, Kevin Feige suggested he was changing things. He wants to slow down the pace of releasing Disney Plus shows. Why? It's because he wants to give each project room to breathe. We can't blame the guy for this, but it doesn't make the wait for new projects any easier. Because of these delays, we're probably going to only see 2 Marvel shows this year. What a shame! These are Secret Invasion and Loki Season 2, which leaves What If, Echo, Ironheart, and Agatha, Coven of Chaos in limbo. We've got no idea when these series are coming, or if the change in Marvel's hiring process will affect how each project goes forward as well. So instead of getting 13 projects in 18 months, we're getting 10 projects in 20 months. But what's the cause of this slowdown? Of course, Feige wasn't exactly open about it, but we know some cost-cutting measures are taking place at Marvel's parent company. Apparently, they're planning to cut production costs by around $3 billion. No wonder they're slowing things down. However, there's more to this story. Many fans and critics complained about the speed at which Marvel releases projects. They claim the breakneck pace doesn't allow the projects to shine, nor does it give creators the time and resources to do their best work. There are even reports of visual effects artists struggling with unrealistic deadlines, while Marvel's own directors have made jokes about the quality of the visual effects. So revising the release schedule could be a blessing in disguise. A more measured pace might just reduce the pressure on the creative teams, ultimately leading to better quality projects. But here's the catch. Since the MCU is so interconnected, delaying one project has a domino effect on others. Just take Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, for example. It required reshoots and rewrites after the original release date was pushed back. If the Disney Plus shows get delayed, we can expect tie-in movies like Captain America, New World Order, and Thunderbolts to come out later too. For the first time in nearly a decade, the MCU's future looks uncertain. But thankfully, it's not due to any villain schemes. However, it's not all bad news. In fact, Feige also spoke about experimenting more with Marvel television shows. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, he compared self-contained TV episodes to serialized ones. And while he praised using cliffhangers to keep people engaged in the show, Feige mentioned that he wanted to keep experimenting with making shows self-contained. He even compared them to Star Trek Next Gen by explaining his wishes for episodes to have a beginning and an end. So there you have it, Marvel fans. It looks like the MCU is shifting gears, potentially embracing more established talent to help guide its future films, while also slowing down the amount of content we get to make each project shine on its own, whilst also making each Disney Plus show episode more self-contained. But fear not, Marvel Studios is known for its ability to adapt, and its capability of evolution. Plus, with Kevin Feige steering the ship, we can trust that the MCU will continue to deliver the thrilling, awe-inspiring, and action-packed adventures we've come to love. Fans will have to wait and see how their legendary heroes and favorite villains fare in the face of these drastic changes coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Get ready for the next chapter in the ever-expanding MCU, since the surprises with Marvel just never stop coming. However, there's one thing for sure we know we can definitely count on. Kevin Feige is completely changing the MCU.